Earlier this year, on Facebook's 10th anniversary, it offered every member a beautiful 1-minute musical montage of his or her Facebook life. Jesse Berlin had died in 2012, and his father John dearly wanted to see his son's montage video.
Only problem with that was you had to be on his page to request it. I didn't have access to his page. I didn't know his password.
You ever do something crazy because you just don't know what to do anymore?
So he had a desperate, great idea. He made a YouTube video.
Zuckerberg and Facebook.
Took my iPhone, I propped it up a picture against the wall, and just poured my heart out on it to Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg.
All we want to do is see his movie. That's it.
3 million people watched his plea.
And by the end of the day, Facebook called me.
Facebook gave John access to his son's video and further improved its existing policies. If your loved one passes away, you can ask for that Facebook account to be what's called memorialized.
Whatever privacy settings that were in place at the time the account was memorialized, they allow those to persist. Your Facebook profile can become a memorial to you and can be a place for communal bereavement where they share messages.
On Google, you can specify in advance exactly what should happen if Google doesn't hear from you for a few months.
You can ask them to pass information to another individual. You can ask them to delete the account. You can set up an autoresponder to your Gmail account. Hey, I'm no longer checking this account for whatever reason.
Hey, I'm no longer alive.
That's a strange email to write.
Already, 30 million Facebook accounts belong to dead people. To some, that's a business opportunity. There are now websites that, upon your death, automatically send your list of passwords to someone you've specified.
Last words. We all hope we'll get a chance to say some, but not knowing when or where we're going to die makes it a bit tricky.
There are sites that send emails after you've gone, or publish a posthumous Facebook post.
It can be a big farewell, a favorite joke, a long-kept secret.
Other sites serve as perpetual lockers for your photos and files.
So after you pass on, presumably your heirs or relatives who want a dose of Bruce could go up there, and what would they do?
Well, you know, they could look through the files.
Bruce Duncan is the managing director of the Terasem Movement Foundation. It runs this free website, lifenaught.com.
This is a picture of me when I was 3 years old. So they could say, well, that's great-grandfather Bruce, and that's where he lived.
Before the beard.
Before the beard, yeah.
Can you tell jokes?
LifeNaught and other sites also offer to create conversational animated versions of you
I'll spend time teaching it.
so that, you're not really gone at all.
Hey, I'm so glad to see you. What's up?
And I can say, hi, it's good to see you too. What kind of music do you like?
I love music.
Well, that narrows it down.
Yeah, so like...
Hello, David.
Terasem is also experimenting with an even creepier way to keep your memory alive.
Where were you born?
I'm originally from Los Angeles, you know.
Bina 48's looks and responses are based on a real person's. Bina Rothblatt, the wife of Terasem's founder.
How far along is Bina 48?
So she's like the first, what I would call a pretty primitive demonstration of that idea.
Primitive is right.
Were you married?
And number 160, and number 160, and number 160, and number 160.
Are you quite all right?
160, and
Evan Carroll isn't quite sold.
To be honest, I feel like some of those services are a bit of a novelty, and I wouldn't rely upon them to be here when I'm gone.
So suppose that I am someone who's very private and I don't want my stuff to live on after I'm gone. What are the steps I can take now?
The number one thing I would recommend you do is you make sure your family knows those wishes and they know where your files are stored.
Okay, and now what if I'm the opposite? What if I want my stuff to live on for future generations to enjoy? What are my best chances?
Well, it's the exact same thing. You want your family to know, these are my wishes, this is what I would like to happen. And of course, back up your content, because multiple copies keep stuff safe.
Because we all know there's only 3 sure things in life: death, taxes, and hard drive failure.
Absolutely. Hard drives fail all the time.